All right, so I'm going to help you with graphing for trial and error, so you can be just like Kepler. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on this link, and it will open this file, which is already got the data that the Kepler had access to. So we already know the planet's radius and period for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets. Now you can't type in this one, so the first thing you're going to have to do is make a copy. So I'm going to make a copy, maybe call it your name, so I can put Mrs. Demas. You'd put your name. So I know this is my copy because you're going to upload this to Google Classroom to show me that you have it done. So there's my copy. And now I need to first fill in these columns. So for this one, which is r squared, I'm going to say equals this raised to the square. So see how I clicked on the box and it automatically did it for me? And it tells me what it's going to be. I'm going to hit return. Now it does do autofill now. It didn't used to. So I want to show you how to do it if that doesn't pop up on yours. So if I click on this and I grab this little square and it turns into a plus, I can drag it down and it will copy. So let's do that again. For cubing it, equals, right? Because I have to tell it it's a formula. So I say equals this column raised to the third. Hit return, say yes to autofill. Do the same thing for this one, but now I want to do it for t, for the period. So this one raised to the square, yes to autofill. And then I want to do this one, t raised to the third, return, autofill. There we go. So now I've got all my data. So now when I look here, I see that I need to graph t versus r. So I come back over to my copy. That's not my copy. There's my copy. And I am going to graph, t versus r. That is not either one. So there's r. I hit the command key because I'm on a Mac, control if you're on a PC or Chromebook, and R, so that I highlight the two separate columns. And then I'm going to say insert chart. It's thinking, but I don't want it to be a column chart. I want it to be a scatter plot. And because it's a silly thing, it's decided that it's not going to do it right. So it's plotting them as two separate series. So I come down here and I'm going, that's not what I want. I want it to be R as X. So I want my series to be T. So I'm going to remove this one. All right. And then I have to add an x-axis. So I see I have my choice. So I made the other one T, so I'm going to make this one R. Can I make sure they're two different ones, right? R and T. Beautiful. So I'm checking, because I have my headings, I can look, and I know that I have an R versus T graph. Perfect. So now I'm going to come to Customize, and I'm going to go to Series, and I'm going to add a trend line. Puts in a nice linear trend line, but I have no equation. So I come over here and I say use equation. So now I have an equation and I want to show the r squared value. So this is my first graph. I'm going to also put what the graph is under the chart. The title showed up there, but I want to change it so that I know which one's which. And I had R be my X. So I'm going to say this is R in AUs, and then my vertical one is T in years. There we go. So now I've got this beautiful graph. I need to put this information into my chart, but just to make it neater, I am going to now move my chart to its own sheet. There we go. So, and I can even label this one T versus R, so I can keep track. And then the numbers I'm going to put in over here in my Cami is 3.18 and 0.984. So 3.18 is my slope. So if I come here, I'm going to say my graph type, grab my text box, my graph type is T versus R. And my slope was 3.18, that number right in front. So my slope is 3.18, and my r squared value is 0.984. 0.984. And then I'm just going to move them so that it reads better. And that's it. Then I just repeat for the next graph. So I come back over here, and now this time when I graph, why is it not letting me click? There we go. When I graph, I look and say, what's the next combination? You can go in any order you want. I'm going to do t versus r squared. And I don't care which one you put on x and which one you put on y, as long as you know which one you did. So I'm going to do t, and I already forgot, t and r squared. So I'm going to do t and r squared. So here's r squared. And then remember, I got to hit the command and t. And then I just go and do the whole thing again. And I say insert chart, and I bet you it's not going to do it the right way, and so you're going to have to do it all over again. And you say scatter plot, and again you have to change it so that you always end up with just one on there, and then over here I can make that one the other one. Always do a double check and then repeat. That's it.